Good morning, tubbers. We've made it to Friday again. I haven't done I didn't do a vlog last week because I did a review on this. I bought that last week that arrived in the post. Cheap Chinese sat-nav, and it's brilliant. The best £40 I've ever spent, if you disregard that weekend in Bangkok. So, what have I been doing since my last vlog? I spent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday last week at the same place that I'm at now, the place I always go to in Tuxford. And the Friday they didn't need me because the truck was whatever, having something done. So my agency sent me to another very big transport firm out of Mansfield. Now it wouldn't be fair for me to give you the name, but it's needless to say, those that know trucking know that it's a very big deal in Mansfield. And I was due to start at 7:30, so as always, new place, got there early, 5 to 7, went and found the transport office, went upstairs, stood there at the desk waiting for somebody to see what I wanted. I stood there 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. Nobody gave me eye contact, nobody asked me what I wanted, nobody made themselves available to speak. You know, everybody kept putting their head down, you know, making it quite clear they didn't want to deal with me. I got to 45 minutes of being stood there, and I decided that I'd call the agency. So I called my boss. I said, look, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm stood here where I'm supposed to be. I'm waiting for the keys to a truck or whatever, give him my manifest, etc. He said, I'll give him a call. I'll give him a call. So that call, when he called me back, he said, go in and ask for such and such. So I went back up, and this guy comes straight over to me. He said, are you Paul? I went, yeah. He said, oh, sorry to keep you waiting, type thing. Okay, not a problem. And he took me down to the yard manager, and he said, right, you'll be out in this truck today. And it was a Mercedes, and he handed me the keys, and it's not right calling them keys because it was a stump. What had happened is at some point somebody had snapped the key off in the ignition, and there was only a tiny little bit left on it, about said much, and you could put it in to start the vehicle, but the keys then had to come out because they'd fall on the floor and stick on the dashboard, which I didn't think was very good. I thought, well, what if I have an accident? I need to isolate the engine in an emergency or whatever, and I've had an accident. The keys could be anywhere. You know, they could be on the carriage, whatever. You know, I mean, you have to think about these things. So I wasn't best chuffed about that. But anyway, I went to start the engine, wouldn't start, and I cranked it and cranked it and cranked it and cranked it and cranked it. And then I went to see the mechanic. I said, I can't get to start. And he said, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, then try it again, it'll start. And lo and behold, it started. Looked great. Well, the vehicle was parked in a really dodgy situation, and I just wanted to gently shunt it out. So I went to put it in reverse. Pushed the lever over, pulled it back. It wouldn't go in reverse. Bloody thing. Anyway, eventually, what I did, I switched the engine off, put it into reverse, then started the engine up again. I thought, gearbox must be really cold. Bear in mind it's autumn. Yeah, so then I reversed it back a bit. Then I couldn't get it out of reverse. And I'd had enough by this stage. Bearing in mind, I'd stood at the transport office listening to the managers disrespect agency drivers, right? And I think that was proper and professional of managers to do that. And they were disrespecting each other. I mean, one of the transport managers picked up the phone to one of their drivers and tore strips out of him, like right in front of everybody. I thought that was so bad. Another driver come up and asked, he'd been on DigiCard all week, and then they put him in another truck that had got analogue, and he, for whatever reason, whether he should or shouldn't have had, didn't have a clean disc on him. So he asked for one. I got a feeling it was agency. Why haven't you got one? Why haven't you got one? Oh, easy. And sorry, there's a van very close to me. Yeah, so she tore a strip out of him, like, I'm sorry that we're dealing with this SHIT every morning. She was going, she's a big girl. Oh, she was a big girl. I think she might have been a lesbian as well. So, a big lesbian. And yeah, and they were barking at each other, and it just, I felt so stressed before I even picked a truck up. But then it cut to this part where I couldn't get the vehicle into reverse, and I went back to the yard manager. I said, I can't go out in that. Why not? And I tell you, he looked at me, and do you know what? I'd had enough. They'd got me to the state where I thought, there's no way, on God's given earth, I want to drive for this lot. And I rung up my agency. I said, look, I'm not driving for this firm. I said that I don't like the setup. I said they've tried to send me out in an unroadworthy vehicle, kept me waiting. I said it's 10:30 now. I said if I go out now, I'm not going to be back till 8-9 o'clock at night with the amount that I had to do. I said, and I was here at 5 to 7, 35 minutes before my start time. What more can you bloody do? Well, this is driving, mate, I said, well, it's not. I've been working at other firms and they've not done this to me. I said, and I have to rely on my mother-in-law to pick up my son from school and look after him until I get back. It's just the way it is, And yeah, so I said, I can't go out. He said, are you telling me you walking off the job? He kept saying, are you walking off the job? And I said, no, I'm just not prepared to drive for him. Anyway, he got a bit stroppy with me. Hung up. Oh, fine, whatever. I'm not doing that. I'm not risking my licence for them. Next day, Saturday, I got a phone call off my boss from the agency. He said, look, mate, I'm really sorry. I was really stressed. I'd been dealing with X, Y, and Z, and your little problem come up just at the wrong time. He says, I don't expect you to drive for somebody, that put you in that position, etc. He said he understood. So, yeah, let's draw a line under it. Which I thought was very good of him. And it made me feel better about my agency, knowing that they wouldn't expect me to get the job done at all cost. Because I thought the whole thing with this industry being so tightly regulated is to make sure that we do the job not only fairly with regard to competitors, but safely. I mean, you can't be yielding one of these things around with that have faults with them, etc. And I didn't think it went on, but obviously it does. So yeah, protect your licence. Don't do anything that you're uncomfortable to do. It's just a day's pay. It's not the end of the world, I mean, I know it's a whole day's pay you've missed, and plus the fact that I had to drive there, which it's not local for me, it's right the other side of the county. So I lost out that day, but better that than lose my licence, I felt. So that was that. So yeah, and the rest of the week I started off back at Tuxford Monday, and I can't remember if it was Monday, I think it was Tuesday. I had a humdinger of a day, and all truckers will tell you about the trucking blues and how that they have bad days. Well, I had one of them. The start of the weather was pants. I kept getting out, getting wet, getting back in, drying off a bit, and then just as people kept me waiting, and it was dry, could have unloaded, and just as I got out, it started raining again. Well, long story short, I got to the end of this particular day, and I got this drop at a school, and I went to pull up to where the school was, and there was cars parked everywhere, like parents picking kids up, and they were double parked. In fact, if there'd have been a fire up there, the fire truck would have had to ram them off the road. Fact, there's no way a fire truck would have got up there if I couldn't get up there. They're literally double parked, right opposite each other, and the fire officer would have been, proper annoyed, I would imagine. So I got up there, and this particular product were baffles for like a central heating system, and at the beginning of the day I thought they were poorly packaged. They're on a pallet, and then somebody had nailed 4 bits of wood to make a flimsy frame and put a load of baffle connections on top and whatever, and it was just rickety. Well, I did my bit. I strapped it down as well as I could, but when I got there, bearing in mind I was on a bit of a slope, it was leaning to one side, and the baffles that were stood upright, they were leaning too. There's nothing I could do about that. They weren't damaged. I'd done my part. I got the thing there undamaged. But the site manager had a proper go at me. Oh, look at the state of that type thing. I can't, that's not on, that ain't type thing. And he was a real wind-up merchant. And I said, look, at this day I'd had enough. I said, I looked him square in the eye. I said, mate, you've got 2 choices. You either accept it or you decline. That's it. I said, because what he was after is like, well, I really need the product. That's what he was telling me. I said, then if the product's not damaged, you need to accept it. It doesn't matter what the packaging looks like. I said, you deal with that with your supplier. I said, they've boxed it up. I said, but I've done my part. He said, well, you accepted this morning when you put it on your truck. I said, mate, if I turned everything away that looked like it was poorly packaged, I said, I won't come out with half my stock. I said, it's just not the way it works. Yeah, so he were umming and ahhing. I said, look, the product's not damaged. I said, it's got to come off the truck. We've got to handball it off anyway, because I can't run my pallet truck across your yard. So, he was. I said, look, 30 seconds, mate, and the tail lift goes back up, and I'm gone. I said, because I've got 3 more drops to do after this. So, yeah, it was. He got proper umpty with me, but he says, "What's your name? What's your name?" I said, "It doesn't matter what my name is." I said, "They'll tell you exactly the same thing I'm telling you. Either accept it or decline it. You can't, sign, unchecked or product damage, but then accept it. It doesn't work like that." So yeah, so it was I got back 8 o'clock at night. So for those of you that are just starting out and are thinking, "Oh, I like the idea of sat my bum pushing this wheel backwards and forth," it's not always like that. Some days, yesterday I finished at 4:30. Great. But like the rest of the week, I've done 12-hour plus days, and that is the reality of trucking, as harsh as it is. And if you've got family, then that'll always be difficult to work around. I'm a dedicated dad, and I don't, I don't like to sacrifice my time with my son. So, yeah, that's the reality of trucking. But no, and then I had a couple of really good days, real belters. You know, and at no point after I had a bad day did I think the next day, God, I don't want to get up and go into work today. It just doesn't have that effect on me. Yeah, that was yesterday and that was that. So, yeah, I still love it. Still love what I'm doing. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. If I see anything interesting, it's not a bad day today. I'll let it adjust. But it's nice and blue skies. It's been a nice second half to the week after the rainy, because it's not worse than doing this job in the rain, because you're going out, getting wet, coming back, drying out and getting wet again, and that's soul destroying. So yes, that is what I've been doing with my week. So I will catch you later, and if I see anything worth recording. I recorded a little run the other side of Grantham down a really steep hill. I know that won't show up on screen, but it was proper steep. Sort of, if any of you ever been to Robin Hood's Bay, that hill that goes down into the bay, sort of that steep, that'll give you, it doesn't look it on film. But yeah, so I'll catch you later. Drive safe. How we doing? Right, it's Friday still, and I've just stopped for my lunch. Now normally I bring a pack up, a sandwich of some description, which I try to vary the breads, etc. But I get a little bit tired of sandwiches, so every now and again I don't do a pack up and I just stay wherever I stop. I find something to eat. If there's nothing else, then it'll be a chippy or supermarket, whatever. But yeah, I get a bit fed up with the sandwiches. So today's one of them days, and I went into the local town in Grantham, parked up here, and I went to my local Morrison's, because I know at Morrison's they do my absolute favourite. Now you'll look at me and go, there's no way that boy eats that. But it is my absolute favourite food, and I'll show you what I've got. Salad bar. I love Morrison's salad bar. It's always fresh, loads of variety, and I think I paid £2.25 for that. So I've got spinach in there, I've got onions, spring onions, some nice pesto pasta. I snuck some onion barges in there, and a couple of falafels. And I've got, I love couscous, not plain couscous, nobody likes plain couscous, but I love couscous, so I've got lots of couscous in there. And that what they're billing as large couscous, but I don't believe it. I think it's bulgur wheat or something. Well, I don't know, but yeah, it's classed as a super salad. So yeah, that's my absolute favourite meal right there. I know, looking at me, that doesn't indicate that, but I've also got for dessert my favourite, which is, wait a second, egg custards. 68p for two. That's not bad, is it, eh? I don't think that's bad at all. And to go with that, I've got a nice, this is my favourite bread that Morrison's do, and that is this ciabatta bread. It's sunblush tomato ciabatta bread. So yeah, that will be my lunch. I know you hear in the press that Morrison's struggle, and I don't understand why. I mean, yeah, I think they're a little bit dearer than perhaps some of the others, i.e. Asda, but I think they do stuff like this for a start off, which the others don't seem to. They do the best bakery section, they do a great fish counter, great meat counter, all the fresh fruit and veg is proper fresh, it's lovely. You know, they're top of the game in a lot of the fields, but the only thing they do that does annoy me, and particularly this one in Grantham, because it's not a massive one, is they've got all this shelf space, tons and tons of shelf space, right? Yet they still insist on putting these baskets in the aisles displaying whatever's on offer. Yeah, they think they're being smart because, oh, it's extra retail space, and retail space is God. Well, let me tell you, Mr. Morrison's, that it's dead annoying when you're trying to get down an aisle with a trolley or whatever, and you can't. It only takes one person to stop anywhere near one of these baskets, and that's it, the aisle's blocked. So it's not great retail space. Do away with them. You don't need it. We don't need 50,000 varieties of tomato ketchup. We just need a couple. Heinz and a cheap one. That'll do. We don't need 1,000 varieties. So I'm sure you'll find your retail space elsewhere. So that's my advice to you, Mr. Morrison. But yeah, otherwise your supermarket's top. So yeah, that's what I'm going to eat for my lunch.